decided to split this DIY into two parts, and the first part I'm going to be doing is applying the studs to the shorts. So the first thing you're going to want to do is place out all the studs in the pattern that you want to have them, just to make sure that you have enough. I would definitely recommend that you measure the size of the stud just to make sure that you place the hole in the material in the exact spot that the spokes are going to go into. So here, that is exactly what I'm doing. I am measuring it out and just creating a hole through the jeans with my X-Acto knife. So once I've created the holes in the spots that they need to be, I am taking the stud and placing it through those holes and then flipping the jeans over to the inside so I'm able to push both of the little metal things down. And I realized later that it's a lot easier to have tweezers or something like that to help you push it down, because it does actually start hurting after a while. So yeah, and the whole measuring thing is really only for the top row, because after that you can use that row to decipher where you're going to place the rest of them. When you're closing the back of the stud, I would definitely recommend that you push them down as much as you can, just to make sure that it's not poking you when you wear your shorts. So as you can see, I decided to go with a diagonal pattern. I just did one less stud on each row, so I started with 8 and ended with 4. So I'm going to start part 2 off by making myself a star stencil using a piece of really thick cardstock paper, but definitely if you have a stencil, I would recommend using the stencil. After getting some white paint on my handy dandy foam brush, I'm going to place a stencil down on a random piece of the shorts and just start dabbing the paint on there. As you can see, it did bleed a little bit, and if you don't like that, I would recommend that you get a stencil if you don't already have one. But I personally think that it adds to the grungy feel of the shorts that it already has from the studs. Moving on to the other side of the shorts, I'm going to start by covering everything that I don't want to paint. So I am using aluminum foil for the bigger areas, and I'm using tape along the edges, and I'm also using tape to section off where I'm going to be painting the red stripes. And now, as you probably guessed, I am going to be painting in the white stripes, and once I finished with that, I let it dry out in the sun for about an hour. After peeling off the pieces of tape where the red stripes are going to be, I went ahead and covered the white stripes to make the whole process of painting the red stripes easier. Then I went ahead and started painting on the red stripes, and once I was finished with that, I left it out in the sun to dry for about an hour, just like I did when I painted the white stripes on. After the hour was over, I peeled off all the tape and took off all the aluminum, and then let the shorts continue to air dry overnight. So that is it for this video. Thank you guys all so much for watching. If you want to see my DIY American flag tank top from last year, it is linked in the description box down below. I hope you guys all have a great day and an amazing 4th of July if you celebrate it, and I will see you guys all in my next video. Bye everyone. So I'm going to share my very first highlighting experience with you guys, but before I go into that, I'm going to kind of explain to you guys the reason why I decided to change it instead of just getting a trim. My popsicle's gone.